The silver boot stays in Houston. Yes, that's right. So the Astros defeated the Texas Rangers, their in-state rivals, 2 out of 3 games this week. This will be the final time they'll see the Rangers during the regular season, and hopefully the last time until next year, as it doesn't look like they'll be making the playoffs this year. So we'll see how the playoff picture shapes out. But I mean, again, I don't have the Rangers as one of my wild card picks. So, but yeah, it was a good series. It had its ups and downs. We're going to talk all about it and so much more coming up next. Stay tuned. What a good way to cap off the Lone Star Series. It's always been good in years past, and I mean, certainly has been one-sided since this Astros dynasty first started, with them winning at least 10 games every single year. But that streak ended last year, and I think the only reason behind that is just because it was a shrunken divisional schedule last year and also this year. But it's crazy to think how the Silver Boot had to come down to the final game between these two teams today. And the Astros ended up winning it, and they get to keep the Silver Boot in Houston for now the 8th straight season, including the pandemic-shortened season, which, despite splitting the 10 games with the Texas Rangers that they played that season, they scored the most runs, which was the next tiebreaker, or run differential in the MLB terms. Ever since 2017, the Astros have won the season series against the Rangers. But let's break down this series. First things first, let's dive into a couple of injury updates. We've got quite a few good ones, actually, not too many bad ones this time around. Starting with Kyle Tucker, he did stay behind in Houston. Like I said, he did make the trip to Arlington. He also will not be making the trip to Boston to join the team there. And I would imagine he's probably not going to be rejoining the team down in Tampa Bay on this last leg of this road trip. But we'll see what happens. Dana Brown does say that Kyle Tucker is running, but like he's not actually sprinting on the baseball field just yet. And as a right fielder, you obviously need to do quite a bit of sprinting, especially to make these long catches that are probably out of your reach. He's not doing that just yet, so hopefully he'll be able to do that soon. The sooner he can do that, then the sooner he'll be able to go out on a rehab assignment. But personally, I'm counting on Kyle Tucker to return this month. One person I know who will return this month, though, for a fact, is Justin Verlander. He threw a bullpen session this week and felt great. And then, although as of when I'm recording this, nothing has been announced as of yet, but it is 99.9% certain that he will be making a rehab start for AAA Sugar Land this weekend. And it's fitting that they're doing so because the Sugar Land Space Cowboys are giving away Justin Verlander bobbleheads. I mean, not that that should influence what day of the weekend he should be starting, but if he ends up starting Saturday, I can only imagine how crowded the ballpark would be, despite the fact that it's expected to be 99 plus degrees this weekend in Houston. Like, let's be honest. This is the worst time of the year to go to a baseball game in Sugar Land. You should try to go early. That's all the injury updates that I think I have to share this week for this video. So let's go ahead and dive into the series game by game. Starting here in the first game, Hunter Brown went 6 innings and struck out, I think, 8 or 10 batters or something like that. I don't exactly remember. I think he only struck out 4 or 5. He didn't strike out that many. But the Rangers ended up getting the last laugh in this game as the Astros, despite the fact that they were given some opportunities to score in this game, would fall in Manfred innings. I mean, this was certainly a loss that was rather devastating and certainly a candidate for loss of the year in a season that's been filled with them for the Astros, given how this season has gone. But it was also kind of predictable given the fact that we wasted so many opportunities to score when we had loaded the bases 3 times over the course of the final 4 innings of this game, but they only got 2 runs out of that. One of which was an infield hit by Jeremy Pena to make it 2-1 Astros at that point. And then also in the 10th inning when All-Star closer Kirby Yates had hit him with a pitch to force in a run with the bases loaded. So, yeah, over the course of their last 2 games, they've loaded the bases 4 times, and then 2 runs was all they could show for that. They could not get anything through the infield in this game. Like, to their credit, they had stranded, I think, 11 base runners or something like that. That's just not going to cut it, man. I'm sorry. But, if we're going to be winning baseball games, especially against the Rangers, we need to be taking advantage of these opportunities whenever we have multiple guys on, especially if you have a man in scoring position, second or third base with less than 2 outs. You got to find a way to get him home. And more often than not, that usually means trying to get a ball through the infield. But apparently over the stretch, that's been a tough ask for this team, and I have no idea why. Now going here as we kind of go into Manfred innings, I guess, Presley had given up the game-tying home run to Corey Seager to make it 2-1 to make it 2-2. The Astros had gotten one of their runs on a home run by Alex Bregman. which would be, I think, one of 4 home runs the Astros would hit as a team over the course of this series. But going to the bottom of the 10th inning, like I said, the Astros did score their Manfred runner in the 10th inning with Jeremy Pena getting hit by a pitch. But then Caleb Ferguson in the bottom half of the 10th inning, since Josh Hader had pitched the 9th inning, and it was a good 9th inning, especially seeing that he definitely struggles in non-save situations like this one. But Caleb Ferguson gave up the game-winning home run to Josh Smith, his first walk-off home run of his career, after he had struck out Robbie Grossman and Jonah Heim with not that much drama to them. But it's still kind of sad to think that Caleb Ferguson was just a couple of good pitches away from sealing the deal. Granted, it was in a hitter's count for Josh Smith, and Ferguson didn't really throw him much of a pitch inside of the strike zone. But, I mean, given the fact that Adolis Garcia was the Manfred runner on second base in this inning, that's really the run that all you care about. I mean, if the Rangers tied it and he scores, then so be it. But, the pitch that he kind of chose to pitch to him was honestly not a very good pitch. I knew that once I saw it leave the bat that it was going to get out, and I was just devastated, man. Like I said, definitely a candidate for loss of the year. And this season has been filled with them for the Astros. Like I said earlier, I'm sorry if I reiterate some things here, but I'm serious. But anyway, going into Game 2, the Astros were able to successfully bounce back rather triumphantly, as Framber Valdez, he had finished 1 out and 1 strike away from his second career no-hitter. But despite that, the Astros would hang on to win 4-2. And then prior to this game, the Astros had called up their number 4 ranked prospect, Zach DeZenzo, in hopes to spark the Astros' struggling offense. Unfortunately, it really didn't do much for them over the course of this game as far as them scoring runs, because, let's be honest, Framber Valdez was the real MVP of this game. No hitter or not, he certainly deserves it, because if it weren't for him, if he had given up a run or two for this, the Astros more than certainly would have lost this game. But thankfully he kept the Rangers off balance over the course of the evening and carried a no-hitter into the bottom of the 9th inning. He had even carried a perfect game into the 6th inning, but he would allow his first base runner on a low throw by Alex Bregman that John Singleton couldn't quite pick out. Then going here into the 9th inning, Jordan would also hit his first home run in probably over a month in the 9th inning at 436 feet to make it 4-0 Astros. And while that home run would actually loom huge, as Corey Seager, who has snapped one no-hit bid at some point in his career when he was with the Dodgers, would snap another one tonight as he had hit a towering 2-run blast on the first pitch that he had seen after Framber Valdez had walked Josh Smith when he was just 1 pitch away from striking him out and finishing off his second career no-hitter. Then after that, Josh Hader had to come into the game, and despite walking Marcus Semien to bring the tying run to the plate, he would still get the save as a Josh Young fly ball was just feet away from leaving the yard and potentially tying this game, and who knows what would have happened after that. So Astros hang on and win this game 4-2. So overall, crazy game with a lot of drama in it. So going into Game 3, the rubber match of the series, winner of this game takes the silver boot. Kikuchi would get his first win in an Astros uniform as he goes 5.1 innings, allowing just 2 runs and striking out 8. Zach DeZenzo would also get his first 2 MLB hits, the first of which came in the 2nd inning on a ball that had tipped off the glove of left fielder Josh Smith. The Astros would score first in this game in the very first inning on a double play ball that Pena had actually hit, but he was able to leg out the relay throw to make it 1-0 Astros. Jordan would add on to that later on with a solo home run that landed into the Rangers bullpen to make it 2-zip. One of 2 home runs the Astros would hit today, the other coming from Victor Caratini in the 6th inning to make it 3-0. Then the Astros would tag on 2 more runs, one by Mauricio Dubon and another by Jose Altuve, but the Rangers refused to go down without a fight in this game. Going into the bottom of the 6th inning, Kikuchi had allowed a solo home run to Marcus Semien, and then after he had walked Wyatt Langford, Taylor Scott came into the game and allowed 2 runs to score, one of which was that inherited runner from first base on a triple that was hit by Nathaniel Lowe that Jordan Alvarez completely misplayed as it slipped between his legs and went all the way to the wall. So the Astros were up 5-3 going into the 8th inning. They just needed 6 more outs to finish off this game, possibly looking for an insurance run or two. Bregman would deliver with one of those insurance runs as he would hit a 2-out RBI single to make it 6-3, though the Rangers would immediately get that run back right away off of Ryan Presley as Jonah Heim had hit an RBI single to make it 6-4, but that was as close as the Rangers would get. But as we go into the 9th inning, the Astros certainly did waste another opportunity to try to add another insurance run for Josh Hader and possibly whoever else to try and avoid using Josh Hader, seeing that he had pitched for 2 straight days, seeing that he had pitched the first 2 games of this series, but he would end up having to pitch in the 3rd game of this series, which he really didn't need to. But, I mean, it is what it is when your offense can't really score, especially in this situation like this when the Astros got the first 2 runners on in this inning, with Yonir Diaz getting on base with a base hit and Jeremy Pena getting hit by a pitch. The second time he's been hit by a pitch this series. Victor Caratini, though, instead in a situation like this, where you would probably want to bunt, he did show bunt at one point, but he wasn't able to lay it down. He would end up grounding into a double play. That would end up looming huge as Jake Myers would hit a deep fly ball to Adolis Garcia. That was not that did miss getting out by much, but it was the 3rd out of the inning. And personally, dude, if Caratini had bunted in that situation beforehand and moved Yonir Diaz over to the 3rd base with less than 2 outs, and then that fly ball by Myers certainly would have been deep enough to score Yonir Diaz from 3rd base with less than 2 outs, costing the Astros a chance at a pretty big insurance run. But they didn't need it, as Josh Hader, despite being asked to pitch for the 3rd day in a row, would retire the Rangers in order, clinching the silver boot for the Astros for the 8th straight season. And that was it. Very good series for the Astros. A good start to this 3-city road trip. The Astros, as we currently speak, are in a deadlock tie with the Seattle Mariners. Though, as of when I'm currently recording this, the Mariners have not even played their game yet. I would think they should be getting in action shortly. But should the Mariners lose, the Astros will be in first place all by themselves going into this weekend series against the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox are a very good team. This weekend's going to be proving how battle-tested we are. I mean, the Astros, of course, they're not the very best against teams that are above 500. To be exact, they're 22-31 after their win. But I mean, I'm feeling kind of confident. Hopefully, we can pull out a win against this Red Sox team. They're actually the only AL team the Astros have not faced this season yet. But I mean, the AL East is a very tough division this year. I mean, the Red Sox, despite being in 3rd place, they're 10 games over 500. And they're just half a game out of a wild card spot. Obviously, they're not going to be getting in by winning the division, seeing that they're still 6 games out of first place in that division. But again, this is going to be a pretty good series, and hopefully we can bring our A game this weekend. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you want to watch one of my other videos, click these ones above my shoulders. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next video.